final award this evening is an award that I'm going to try to get through without crying, but I may, so I'm just going to have to apologize in advance. The final award is actually the Teri Foster Lifetime Achievement Award. I've never had the privilege of meeting Teri, but I know some of you have. And this is the write-up that we include on our website, and I think it really, I can't write anything that's better than this. Every so often, an individual comes along who views downtown revitalization efforts not merely as a job, but as a labor of love. These rare individuals make a dramatic impact, not only on an individual community, but on the entire field of downtown revitalization. The Most Esteemed Award honors one of the Commonwealth's most ardent supporters of local communities, Teri Foster. Teri was born in 1953 in Somerset County, Pennsylvania. She was a 1971 graduate of Somerset Area Senior High School and earned her Bachelor of Arts in Journalism from Penn State University in 1975. She then went on to receive one of 10 annual Dow Jones Newspaper Fund internships with the Richmond, Virginia Times-Dispatch. Teri returned to Pennsylvania in 1978 to begin her public service career at the Pennsylvania Department of Community Affairs, now the Department of Community and Economic Development. Teri was at the Department of Community Affairs for over 18 years, where she advocated for community development and especially downtown revitalization through local government action. Her job was to educate local officials, community and economic development professionals, and local volunteer leaders in problem solving through hands-on workshops and training sessions. She traveled across the wide expanse of Pennsylvania on a weekly basis, spending hundreds of hours developing and presenting concepts such as the Main Street approach, at first preceding and then supporting the actions of the Pennsylvania Downtown Center. She had a great commitment to Pennsylvania communities and the impact on the entire field of downtown revitalization. Her declining health caused her to leave the state in 1995, and she and her husband then traveled the country until her death in 1996 at the age of 43. In an effort to recognize individuals who have gone above and beyond, it's gonna start. In an effort to recognize individuals who have gone above and beyond the normal requirements of their job, the Pennsylvania Downtown Center reserves this Most Esteemed Award. This category is only open to individuals with over 10 or more years of experience in the field of downtown revitalization, evidenced through impact on more than one community, and who have demonstrated a commitment to the Main Street or Elm Street philosophy and a deep understanding and appreciation of downtowns as the soul of the community. So, it's my great pleasure to award Malcolm Johnstone with the Teri Foster Lifetime Achievement Award. But it's not time for you to talk yet, so maybe you can stand. And I'm using some of my notes from tonight. Reduce, reuse, recycle. So, Malcolm Johnstone has been a downtown development specialist since 1985. In 2001, he became the executive director of the Westchester Business Improvement District, a nationally accredited Main Street organization. Malcolm specializes in public relations and marketing strategies for a comprehensive approach to promote downtown. He writes for a number of local and regional publications, including County Line magazines, Westchester Press, and Westchester Fig. He has also authored several blogs focused on the rich history of Pennsylvania's Brandywine Valley. A regular speaker at local, regional, and national conferences, Malcolm loves spreading his knowledge on downtown development and local history. And I think if I could sum up everything, I think for Malcolm, really a phrase, and I may be plagiarizing this from somewhere, and I apologize, I don't know if I am. But my thought is that you become a place, and the place becomes you. And I think it's, Westchester is so synonymous with Malcolm, Malcolm is synonymous with Westchester. And I can't imagine anyone else who fits that bill. I guess I can say this. I'd written a letter of reference from Malcolm a little bit ago, and I kind of stole some of what I had written before that, but I felt as though it was so sincere and really spoke to the moment that we have in front of us. I've known Malcolm for at least 16 years. during which Malcolm's positive attitude and determination in serving the Westchester Business District and the greater community, he catapulted Westchester from being known as a nice college town in southeastern Pennsylvania into a mecca for distinctive dining and a sought-out retail destination known throughout the region. Malcolm's pride for the community he serves is seen at the statewide level as Malcolm and Westchester have become synonymous for one another. Malcolm is highly regarded among his peers, and I think you can all agree with me there, as his advice is sought after by many. Malcolm's enthusiasm for celebrating and honoring the significant storied past of Chester County with his interest in connecting all people, both history buffs and casual learners alike. In any situation, whether he's speaking to 300, 30, or even 3 individuals, Malcolm's warmth, compassion, and genuine interest in what he speaks about is contagious. He engages his audience and leaves you feeling like you've been old friends forever, all while learning something new. While planning the 2018 Pennsylvania Downtown Center Conference hosted in Westchester, I had the honor of being able to get to know Malcolm as both a colleague and a friend. And I have no reservations, absolutely, in celebrating Malcolm as the most recent Teri Foster Lifetime Achievement Award winner. But we're still not ready. I have to share the application because this is an application that I don't think we've ever received. It's a wonderful narrative, and I hope I have permission to read it. It goes, in 1993, I opened a small business in the historic downtown business district in Washington, Missouri. A GAMSA award winner in 2012. Quickly, I was asked to become a member of Downtown Washington, Inc., one of the original members of the Missouri Main Street program. The following year, I served on the board of Downtown Washington, Inc. until 1999, the year I sold my business. In 1998, I attended the Missouri Main Street Conference in Jefferson City. We had a large group attending and had traveled to Jefferson City in different vehicles at different times. When I located our downtown manager and a few other board members, they introduced me to a gentleman from Oregon who was a presenter at the state conference. Because we were a large friendly group and he was a visitor from out of state, he was invited to join our group when we attended the festivities and award ceremony that evening. Later that night, most of us returned home to attend to our business the next day. As I departed, this gentleman from Oregon and I exchanged names and contact information. His name was Malcolm Johnstone, and a few years later, my name became Susan Johnstone. In late winter 2020, I was on the Pennsylvania Downtown Center website looking for the dates of the 2021 conference to add to my calendar, and I ran across the PDC Awards. As I read the description of the Teri Foster Lifetime Achievement Award, I said, oh my gosh, that describes Malcolm. Main Street, historic preservation, small business ownership, economic development, heritage tourism are topics discussed in our home every day. I watch Malcolm solve issues, show creativity, lay out strategic thinking, and bring success with dedication and enthusiasm all the years I've known him. I have seen him present in an auditorium of people who gave their full attention. I have watched him perform on stage with musicians, and I have watched him wear a silly costume to raise funds for organizations in need. While putting this application together, it required researching and compiling information from decades of his career. Each day, each step along the way, we walked down Main Street with passion, enthusiasm, and a great ability to work with everyone he met. He created, he solved, he promoted, and he succeeded. I'm so proud of him. Sincerely and with best regards, Susan Johnstone. So I thought that was a pretty special application that really should be noted. There's a lot of things that we could say about Malcolm, and I think more than anything, I'm going to let him share a little bit, but I do want to share that from a personal perspective, the organizations and the awards that he's won, the Westchester Borough Proclamation and Key in 2021, the Business Leader of the Year in 1993 and 1994 for the Greater McMinnville Chamber of Commerce, Main Street Manager of the Year in 1990, the Oregon Downtown Development Association, the Best Organization for McMinnville Downtown Association in 91, Distinctive Leadership Award in 2016, a dozen distinctive destinations with the National Trust for Historic Preservation, Annual Best Places to Live, Mainline Today 2006, top 100 Best Places to Raise a Family in 2006. Designated as a Preserve America Community Advisory Council on Historic Preservation, recognized as an inclusive community through the National League of Cities in 2007. Westchester was selected a Classic Town of Greater Philadelphia, Delaware Valley Regional Planning in 2018, a Great American Main Street Award in 2017, and an award winner in Partners for Preservation with the National Trust for Historic Preservation. He's still currently active and serving as a volunteer with the Chester County Historic Center, the Chester County Community Foundation, Friends of Everhart Park, Evans Court Condo Association, the Free Little Library, Westchester branch of the NAACP, and he's a regular presenter with the National Main Street Center, and he's a speaker tomorrow in case you want to join his session. So it is with my great pleasure that I welcome Malcolm to the stage and that we acknowledge him as the 2021 Lifetime Achievement Award winner for the Teri Class.
Again, my composure. And what I'd like to do, actually, first, thank you so much. I'm deeply honored and humbled. Teri Foster was a great early champion of Pennsylvania Main Street, and it means so much on the award. But you know what I'm really going to do? I'm going to give you the inside story of exactly what happened, how I got to be where I am today. 1985, and I had heard that there was a position for a full-time manager in Pendleton, Oregon. I applied for that. I interviewed with their board of directors, and I was offered the job. A few days after that, I asked them, why was I offered that job? Was there something about my interview that they liked? And they said, yes, there was. You were the best dressed candidate there. And I said, can you give me a little more information on that? And they said, you did not wear purple cowboy boots. I'm just saying, you never know when you're going to find a corner there. Are the tears running? My makeup is running. About a week after that, it got a little awkward when the board chair came to me and said, I want you to give a speech at the monthly luncheon of the Chamber of Commerce. Introduce yourself and introduce this new Main Street program that we're bringing to Pendleton. And I said, I would be delighted to do that, but you're actually going to have to tell me what this Main Street program thing is. And she said, it's very, very simple. You need just one word to remember. That word is, and I'm sure you all ahead of me here, that one word is DOPER. D-O-P-E-R. Design, organization, promotions, and economic restructuring. Using that, you cannot go wrong in explaining the new Main Street program. After a year, I went to another town and had pretty good success. But I'm going to hop forward in interest of time to 2001, when Susan and I heard that there might be an opportunity in a little town in Pennsylvania. I flew there from northern Idaho, where we were living. And I interviewed for the job, and it went very well. I did not wear purple cowboy boots, and I dressed as nice as I could. I explored the town, hopped on a plane, and came back to northern Idaho. During that time, I was actually offered that job. And when I got off the plane, as my wife Susan likes to say, I had this look of love on my face. The town of Westchester is a beautiful community. I saw a lot of potential. Yeah, the economy was kind of in the toilet, crime was way too high, but hey, those things can be fixed, right? And so Susan and I had another adventure, and as you heard before, she's a Main Streeter. You know, she was Retailer of the Year for Main Street, Missouri. So we moved to Westchester, Pennsylvania, and the very first thing I did was go to a conference and a meeting of the PDC. It was in Gettysburg. Gettysburg is a gorgeous community, and I had heard about it all my life. I couldn't wait to get there, and there was a PDC. And of all people, it was Barry Cassidy, one of the founders of PDC, who introduced me to Bill Fontana. And we began this long relationship, and I took advantage of that wonderful, wonderful resources that PDC has to offer. Indeed, if I can count my success in every single point of success, there was the earmark of the PDC. From the education, from calling Julie and her always returning phone calls, answering my questions, we're working out problems that would come up. My go-to people, Maria and Katie, that would go through details that always got resolved. When those things happened, it just made my ability to do my job so much better and easier. I'm very thankful. So when you get to a town like Westchester, you have to have a team. The team is far more important than an individual, and there are members of that team that have been generous enough to come tonight. Ray Ott and his wife Paula Ott. And Ray started the bid in downtown Westchester. And when I got there, of course, moving to Pennsylvania from the West Coast, it's like moving to a foreign country. And Ray explained to me the differences. Took him only 3, 4, 5 hours or days, one of the two. And then Ray continued to participate and volunteer his time to make the organization solid. Fred Guz was in charge of the Clean and Green program. He understood how important having a clean, green type of program in downtown, how important that was. And indeed, reflecting upon it, it was the chief of police who understood that when a town is clean, when it becomes vital, that helps things like the crime rate. Over the last 20 years, the crime has fallen in Westchester 60%. And the chief says that it was having an active revitalization program that assisted the police department in lowering crime. And that was when Westchester also experienced the largest growth of any borough within Pennsylvania. And Tom Comita is here as well. And Tom showed me and demonstrated that there's so much history in Westchester, dating way, way back. He was able to show me how Westchester developed from the very early days, and then participated in a wayfinding program that provided a sense of place to Westchester among many other programs. And it's a team like this that becomes so vitally important for the success of a downtown. They're the ones who deserve thanks. So this is hard. Watching Julie get up there and sniffling everything. And so now I'm doing it. I hope you're enjoying that. So the future is also here. We have Jameson Ludgate, who is now a colleague as I'm moving over to the Cultural Alliance of Chester County. And we have so much to be thankful, my wife and I. She's been such a great partner. And it's been a big, great adventure. But I think it's real obvious to all of you right now that Main Street is in my blood. It's part of my DNA. And I think the best way that this can be described comes from a pop song from a pop group called the Eagles, and in their song, Hotel California, in the very last line, they sing, "You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave." That's where I am now. I will always be a Main Streeter. I will always be participating, and I will always be in love with all of you. And that includes you, Alia and Michael, who have worked with me to figure out how Harrisburg works. And by the way, I got to tell you really quick that Alia invited the governor for a tour of downtown Westchester. It was great. Yeah, a couple of awkward moments, but by and large, it was fabulous. And the governor even gave us a call on my cell phone, called me on my cell phone when we won the Great American Main Street Award. And those are the things that make being a downtown manager special, believe me. Thank you all so much.